Today, Rinpoche continued his explanation of the final section of Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, emphasizing the two types of meditation found within Tibetan Buddhism: fixed meditation and analytical meditation.
Dalai Jabu Chungula, Jabending, Jabu Shimbilan, Jabu Chungula, Tajon, Magajumu, Shooting, Telatin Dundra, then Labason, Jabending, then Telatin Tabandra, then the Shanchu sent the Shindula Suba, Jabu Shimbilan, Telatin, Sanjabichu, what to say about it.
Okay. Welcome everyone again to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center. Once again, Rinpoche's finishing up actually Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment. We're currently in the last section of the, I just can't believe we are. It's just blowing my mind right now that we're near the end of this. It's been over a decade we've been doing this one text. In this calm abiding and special insight section, I remember looking back at 10 years ago and looking at other translators who were around, and we were trying to figure out how we could ever get that third, like how would we ever be able to go through that or have any understanding when we did of it. And we look at this much time later, and even though we're not all great scholars that can pick apart the tenet systems and so forth, we know what the middle way view is in a general way because of this presentation and because of the years that we've put in and you know, been able to hear these teachings. And our ability to realize these teachings is in a direct relationship to our understanding and intellectual understanding of these teachings. So our ability to realize them in a real way requires an intellectual understanding, which you can't get any other way than being taught and reading about it. There isn't a spontaneous understanding of things that doesn't require inference, that doesn't require analysis. And it's because of what Rinpoche's done for us over this period of time and where Rinpoche's brought us in terms of our ability to realize that I'm really, really grateful and also have the ability to slightly understand some of this material, as do a lot of people in this room who've spent, you know, as much time or close to as much time or still a very large amount of time dedicated to this information. So when we look at what's in this book, it's a summary of all of Lord Buddha's teachings. Buddha taught a lot of different texts. We have 100 that are translated into English, into Tibetan, that are direct pronouncements, direct speech of Lord Buddha. And then there's 213 authentic Indian commentaries, which were written by people prophesized by Buddha and written by people who had a very firm grip and understanding of what the Buddha pronounced and then commented on what that all means. So all of those teachings just mentioned are considered what we consider the authentic teachings, what you would need to know in order to become enlightened in our tradition. In order to become a Buddha, you need these teachings and the Kangjur, the pronouncements of Lord Buddha, and the Tanjur, and the authentic Indian commentaries. But without anyone explaining them and putting them in some kind of order, it would be nearly impossible to understand them just relying on those two sources. Even if they were all in English, it would be almost impossible to know how then do I practice. It's a lot of philosophical information presented in not necessarily specific orders, and it has to be interpreted. So what Lord Atisha did, who was an Indian master from India, is he brought the teachings to Tibet and put them in an order that kind of made sense of how a practitioner would actually go about putting these in one's life, how one would apply what the Buddha said and what the Indian Pandits commented on to one's life, and how a being would go from knowing nothing about Buddhism to becoming a Buddha. So Atisha said you do that by breaking everything down into 3 categories. And then he wrote a very short, in comparison to this book, poem about how all of Lord Buddha's teachings are put into 3 categories. That poem then was interpreted by Lama Tsongkhapa in this big text. And that's what this big text is about. It's an interpretation of Lord Atisha's summary of all of Lord Buddha's teachings into 3 categories. So what are those 3 categories? So the first category is called the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. So the whole grouping of them is called the teachings for beings of 3 capacities. So that's the name of these 3 categories that Atisha put them into, and then this Lama Tsongkhapa commented on. And the first category was called the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. This word common is used because the next teaching relies on it too, needs it too, so it's common to the next level and the next level. So it's called common. Teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity were teachings Buddhists showed a practitioner how to just achieve, in your next life, a good one. So a higher realm rebirth in your next life. We're currently, according to Buddhism, in a higher realm. The human realm is in the higher realm. So the first category of teachings that Buddha gave were just to show one how to achieve a human being's form up to God's form, a God's, not God, but a God's type form, a paradise form within cyclic existence. So this first category of teachings is for someone who's just aimed at that, not aimed at nirvana or liberation, just aimed at next life, I want it to be good. So this practitioner engages in going for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, engages in an ethical behavior that abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities, acknowledges one's downfalls, and then through dependence upon these teachings, the Buddha said one will have a higher realm rebirth. So that was the first category. The second category of teachings are the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. It didn't really get creative with the naming on it. Small, medium, great. The teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. This was for a practitioner who wanted to get out of cyclic existence altogether and wanted to achieve nirvana. Didn't want to have to be reborn again beyond their control. So the person in the small capacity still is forced into a rebirth because of karma. The person that is in this next category no longer is forced into rebirth because of karma. They are in a pure state of freedom from suffering forever. So this practitioner wants that. Doesn't want to have to deal with the sufferings that we have as humans and other things. They want all that to go away. So this practitioner has to engage in, according to Buddha, the 3 highest higher trainings, the highest higher training in ethics, concentration, and wisdom. The Buddha said in dependence upon those, you'll be able to achieve nirvana. You'll be able to end your suffering altogether. But this doesn't, at that point, focus on others' suffering. The next category of teaching is when great compassion comes in, when the practitioner wants not only to become free from suffering, but wants everyone else also to be free. Recognizing their plight, they say, man, everybody else has this same amount of suffering that I have, so I want to free them. And the best way to free them is to become a Buddha. So these teachings were made in order to become a Buddha. And the Buddha said, if you do this, you'll become a Buddha, because I did this, and now I'm a Buddha. And the Buddha was just a person like we are that did a certain series of things that are prescribed in what Buddha pronounced in order to not be like us suffering any longer, to be free from it, and then achieve a state of what is called of omniscience, which is the best basis to be of utmost benefit to all beings. So this practitioner, according to Buddha, has to go for refuge, like mentioned, abstain from the 10 non-virtuous activities, practice the 3 highest higher trainings, but then the special part of the great scope the teachings for beings of great capacity is that they develop this thing called bodhicitta, a mind that wishes to free sentient beings, become a Buddha to free sentient beings from suffering, that wishes not only to be liberated, but also for everyone else too as well. So that practitioner starts with that mind and then practices the 6 perfections. And by doing that, the Buddha said, you can become a Buddha too. So that's how the Buddhist teachings are divided into 3 categories, and that's what the entire contents of Atisha's poem and the great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment are. I think we're at R. So, Diso.
Chabaji Gung Tangji Dame Wala Loka Mashuba Juyu Dame Bitawa Nyebashi Gu Tayang Kwa Tang Yebe Machu Be Ne Chung Yu Tse Tawa Tene Chuba Tang Jebi Tuen Teni La Gombashi Gu La Tela Ne Dame Bitun La Ne Machuba Juba dan susu tubi shiro ji ji ne gomba niga gu ji shuri ma chugo de la son jogon dan jegon niga gu bi ju sen de la so ba bon ti chu ji ne chung ze she ba wo dang ne da me bi de la pu da chu bi da wa ne ba ne na la tong gu tu ba Mujede Tene Di Jur Sombi Shidang Tawa Chebi Tang Matuba Hadongi Gesu Ju Shide Ne Gondele Choden de Shinedang Hadon Ju Ganle Shua La Shamba Chutin Tabi Jule Shua Dang Tuba dan samba le shun yu tawa nabar tabi yule shunwa yinu she dan pabi tan deba yin ma tuba na ladon ki ge yinu she sunbi she dan sime ji pe shuba le Tuba le shiro jungshin, shiro ji nyomo ba pongwa, ma toma shi, chamba tarara sombi shiro. Tawa tele latong, chilo ne, tombo tenla bebe, tse, longri toma ne, nabar che ne, tenla beshin, tenla pobi, tse, susu tubi shiro, tenla pobi tse, susu tubi shiro je,
Yandan, yandu.
susu tubi shiro je, yandu je de, me je ba, jogon zangshi, shebe me je wa mebe shene, cho ne, gomba shebe tse, je ne, zhong gu so, de la kaji tambo ne, me je ba, me de jang, tu san ji ten la po sin ne, gombi tse, che gong she na, tongpa tangji, tenzin yin nyang to, zong ne, zong de, tata me zhong na, ne, tongpa gang yin tangji, tenzin yin ba, susu tubi, tode ji, shebe dame gombi, toba mo to, kabe, mete to, yen yang, toba tangji, denzin yin be, gombi tse, go na, ten la pobi tse yang, toba tangji gaja gobe, goba njushin, leben la, Loma la cheba dang, zoba dang, zomba dang, tatu ji, sheba tangji jang, sheji tobe, shagube, ti tse yang, gu guba njo de, tenzin gong du, ga gu la, tu jen ji tse mu ba, cheba chongze jang, mebi shiro, ke de mendo jang, jang lo dang, long dang de gu doma ne, cheba ne, da mebi tuen la, ma duba shebi shiri yin la, tawa yang, nian sen be, gong be tse, mu gu su jang na, de la, tong lang do, da me ba, ngong song du du ba yin be, tene, da me tong sen ba, tse gong be dun, me ba joro, ke de, gong gu de, gong bon, nam, bon be, gong be bon ge, tong a zang je, mu bon gong nyang do, nyang ne tong de, de yang, tu sang je, ten la po be, ngen sen jang, ten la po be, gong pa sha gu be, she de, che zang do, ten la po ba, te gong pa she ba, te zang do, ngen ba, shu cha ba dang, jun rin wa dang, nang pa she wa dang, ten pa rin ju wa, su tong yu shiro,
Tena, Nandrele.
tene nang den le, ngen pa dang na zhung du yi, nang ngu yu she song pa tar, teni yi, nang yin be, ngen pa tar ten pa dang, shu cha pa su song a te zang do, zhung du pa la ne be, de yang, rang xin, me be ngen pa je pe do, tang gu la, te yang, ne ji na zhu ji, tu mi gu ne, sang gu bi shir, ti tar ma yi na, ma da pa dang, len de dang, kui nyemi dang, shang shu, sen dang, shang pa dang, hin ji su la, da ki, kuwa nyen pa, ma ju pa, da ne, chi wu, nyang pa zang je,
Yabudu,
zin
she
dang,
yabudu.
zin dang ji zong ne, jang gu ban ju de, ju sen kun ne, cong bi shiro,
Shira yabudu Rinpoche. Chi shina chu dets delta. The decent. Chu the, let's go peek. Tsikari kamta.
ju sen cong bi shiro,
Jutsen
cong bi shiro.
Sumbishiro. Okay, decent. Tuchena. This is really good. Okay. The presentation of our own system. If you do not find the definitive view of selflessness, your mind will not be directed towards selflessness in any of your meditations. Therefore, you must find the view of selflessness. Furthermore, mere understanding is not enough. When sustaining the view, you must remember it and analyze it. You must meditate on what you have analyzed. In order to do that, you must have both forms of meditation, non-analytical stabilization on the meaning and analysis with discriminating wisdom. Each by itself is insufficient. This section has 3 parts. Why both stabilizing meditation and analytical meditation are necessary. 2, overcoming objections to that. 3, a summary of the key points for sustaining insight and serenity. First, why both Stabilizing meditation and analytical meditation are necessary. If you are not certain about the view, i.e., you have not reached firm conclusions about the meaning of selflessness, then the knowledge which is insight will not develop. This is because the Buddha said that certainty about the view is the cause of insight, and that failing to study instructions that explain the view is a hindrance to insight. The Sutra Unraveling the Intended Meaning says, Bhagavan, from what causes do serenity and insight arise? Maitreya, they arise from the cause of pure ethics and from the cause of an authentic view based on study and reflection. And failure to willingly study the instructions of noble beings is a hindrance to insight. Also, the questions of Narayana. Study gives rise to wisdom, and it is wisdom that eliminates the afflictions. I cited many such statements earlier. How does the view create insight? When you set out to determine the view, you determine it through analysis using many lines of reasoning and scriptural citations. When you have determined it, you repeatedly analyze it using discriminating awareness, discriminating wisdom. Stabilizing meditation alone without sustaining the view will not create insight. Therefore, when you meditate after having attained serenity, you must sustain the view through continued analysis. Opponent, we do not claim that there is no analysis at the beginning. However, once study and reflection have determined the view, if you then practice analytical meditation during a session of meditation, then thoughts are conceptions of signs. Reply, it is not tenable to fail to sustain the view in this way, for we have given abundant refutation of the claim that any conceptual thoughts are conceptions of signs, and of the claim that ordinary beings meditate on selflessness with a wisdom that is free from conceptual thought. Furthermore, this is again the Hashan's view of conceptual thought, all conceptual thoughts bad, and that you can't get to a direct valid cognition of something, a non-conceptual direct valid cognition of something by way of conceptuality. Furthermore, so that's incorrect. Furthermore, because you claim that all these conceptual thoughts are conceptions of true existence, if they had to be stopped during meditation on the view, then they would have to be stopped when determining the view, inasmuch as conceptual thought is needed to make those determinations. And since you use conceptual thought for everything, such as teaching students, debating, composing, and thinking about the view, you would also have to stop it at those times, because you cannot make even the slightest distinction which allows for a conception of true existence that must be stopped during meditation, but which does not need to be stopped at other times. We do not agree with that. One conducts analysis using many lines of reasoning and scriptural citations in order to know something that one does not know yet, the meaning of selflessness. During meditation, such analysis is unnecessary because the view has already been found. Reply, if this were so, then since noble beings have perpetual knowledge of selflessness on the path of seeing, it would be pointless for them to meditate on selflessness that they have already seen. Reply, if this were so, then since noble beings have perpetual knowledge of self, I already said, sorry, opponent, they must meditate on the emptiness already perceived on the path of seeing by becoming accustomed to it. They eliminate the afflictions to be eliminated on the path of meditation. The path of seeing alone cannot eliminate these afflictions. Reply, yes, and this case is similar because here, even though previous study and reflection have already determined the view with certainty, you must become accustomed to what you have determined. This is because ascertainment of the view becomes strong, long-lasting, clear, and steady to the extent that one becomes accustomed to what one has determined. Therefore, as Dharmakirti's commentary on the Compendium of Valid Cognition says, ascertainment and the reifying mind are the nature of the cancelled and that which cancels. Because those two are cancelled and that which cancels, reification is cancelled as your ascertainment takes on qualities such as steadiness and strength. Therefore, here again you must maximize your ascertainment of absence of intrinsic existence. You must reflect on many lines of refutations and proof. Suppose that this were not the case. Someone could arrive at an understanding of something such as impermanence, karma and its effects, the faults of cyclic existence, the spirit of enlightenment, love or compassion. Then, without analyzing them further, that person would need simply to hold the single thought, I am going to die, and then sustain it in order to have full knowledge of impermanence. The reasons why you must continue analysis of the view are entirely similar. In order to bring about genuine ascertainment, it is not enough just to pronouncements such as I am going to die, or I will attain Buddhahood for the sake of of living beings. So the first is a part of impermanence. The second is a proclamation that one would make if he or she had bodhicitta. And then the third, I feel compassion for living beings, is what one who has compassion would feel. So they're breaking it down into the various types of realization. So compassion is a realization that causes bodhicitta, the idea to work for Buddhahood for the sake of sentient beings. So they're just showing that just having parts means that you wouldn't need more. If that were the case, that just knowing part of emptiness. Anyway, that's the point that they're making. They're saying that you still need to reinforce it with many other examples and so forth in order to make it purely stay steadfast in your mind. Just like when you see the selflessness of person, you then would say, oh, well, everything else has that same, as Aryadeva says, nature, so it is selfless as well. But that would take from that step to that step. It wouldn't be a simultaneous understanding. It would still require, in an inferential way, that step-by-step understanding. You must reflect on those things using many lines of reasoning. Likewise, for a steady, strong ascertainment of the absence of intrinsic existence, it is not enough to hold on to some pronouncement. You have to reflect on it using many lines of refutation and proof. I have already explained this at length in the section on the person of small capacity. Let me just see, we read to right here, your row. Accordingly, Kamala Shilas Dene Ngepa Nanda Jamba. The Digsong, if we'll catch up to it.
Naja naji ni ngoyo she song ba ta tani naja naji yinbe ngaba ta tan ba ta shu ta ba su su song ta zang do dundu la ne be de yang ra ji me be ngaba ji pe do tang gu la de yang ne ji da du ji do mi gu ne sang gu bi shi ro ta da ma yin na mu da ba ta Lende dans Kuyemi dans Chanchu Saint dans Chambo dans Nije la Sula Dada ke Goa Niene Majuba Dan Chu Nyaba Tangje Zedan Chi Kona Zone Chang Guba Nyude Jusen Kune Tumbishiro Tena Naba Nada Ndembala Dan Chu Yambatan, Sejen do, Sanje Tuba Shawu, Sejen do, Sanje Tuba Shawu, Yambatan, Sejen Nirje, Yambatan Rila, Soba, Tanja Zang Re, Michuki, Jusen Tumi Gune, Sanguba Jindo, Raji Meba Neba, Damba Shu Jabo, Su Jang, Tanja Zangji, Zongyu, Michuki, Neje Jundu, Neje Ruji Dume, Sangude, Jebu Chungi Gozo, Yang, Mando Shesindo, Ndada Yang, Gore Songa, Shene Zhune, Gombi Tse, Juba Modo, Tang Guba, Songshin Juba Lejan, Nanju Bayi, Dan Guba She, Che Su Gune, Gombi Tse, Cheba De, Cheba Song De, Nanju Bane Shine, Shila, Karon, Nyeba Shila, Shebi Shidang, Shine Marubi, Gondo, Dayu Goa, Matsuwa Maimi, Shidang, Sandanji, Wu, Shiraji, Gosu Dayu, Jeba Na Sombe, Di Riba, Ribi Neji, Sandan Dune, Dame, Tenla, Juba, Goba Yila, Oma Nibo Lejan, Ludu Nyaja Wudune, Tanya Gune, Zonja Shawayi, Chunongobada, Tangela, Shirajin, Dada, She Songjin, Deba Tinganjin, Jebi, Wudu, Tayu, Sheba, Na Sheba, Somba Dang, Somba de Shunju Lejan, Shunju Lojine, Santen Lu, Jongwajin, Drune, Tene Shiro Gumba Na, Rebi, Jeba, Guba Sombi Shiro, Tena, Pashin Tama Ni Je, Rimba, Haba, Shamani Je, Rimba, Tanji, Dingan Hodo, Drune, Shiro Gumbi, Riba Yinla, Shiro Di, Gunzu, Tela Chetawa Jindo, Chetawa de Chenbala, Jubi Gune, Somba Tanji, Gumbi, Rimba Yimbe, Luba Taba Majawo, Tadago Wudo Maze, Yongchewa, Domane, Tata Sombe, Gumbi Tse, Juba, Domazawo, Tata Nashine, Jubi Wudo, Latung Gumbi Tse, Jiegung Bayi, Shena, Hanchi Shine, Jila Sado, Yang, Mudubi Shir, Shine Mebanjola, Di Shir, Latung Yang Majete, Hasheba Taro, Dena Nga, Nebi Jubi, Shine Jangula, Jiegung Yang, Shagube, Niga Guso, Tata Latung Ki, Jiegung Shebi Tara, Tantala Jugung Sheba, Dame Bala, Maybe Shine, Shela Sunde, Sundewa Yino, Gore Babale, Papa Conchu Tinji, Kazede, Datara, Junla Kibi, Treba Tanji, Jay Shir, Tombani Gumba, Nanjurdo, Shedo, Tombani Gumba, Mayu, Nelo Dan, Kantoyan, Motushin, Sen Ngobara Gayu, Nan Tatan Tadaki, Ngoni Yonso, Tsena, Tomba Tozo, Sen Kanyin Teyan, Tsena, Tomba Tozo, Sen Kanyin Toba Teyan, Kundo Tsena, Tomba Tote, Tata Tobe, Tsama Meba, Nanju La Jugo, Shenjong Ngo She, Dene, Toba Ngo Tane, Tseni Meba, Nila, Temper, Juba Tende, Dila Sheba Yonso, Bon Zangji, Shiraji, Ngabi Ngo, Ni, Menchuba, Naba Maduba Nido, Yu Masibi, Shinto, Sewa, Temba Yino, Shesumbi Shir, Long Di, Yu Dang Yu, Kenji, Shenji Daba Na, Tomba Ni Tuba Dang, Tomba Tuba Ang, Jawa Ang, Jeba Na, Tomba Tuba Dang, Tada Jang, Toni, Gombi Tse, Sheba, Songshin, Jene Gomba, Tuba Semenji, Nanjula, Juba, Sombe, Yonsu Jebi, Tsuribi, Jeba, Hondo Matan, Hajan, Dobatar, Sentua, Dubi Yila Sheba, Bomba Zangji, Sementan, Maduba, Juba Masiba, Sewa Tendo, Tena Hanshibatar, Chutanji Dame, Chunala, Dani Jimo, Duzanya, Manduba Repe, Chunje, Shila, Dame, Balanga, Batamba, Tata, Dani Jimo, Mena, Takabi, Ngobo, Meba, Nataba Tuba Shi, Wede, Mashanji, Permebi, Mame Yoban Zimba, Mashantan, Permi Bala, Tude, Sinilaya Mamina, Mashanji Pem Demba, Yoban Gejan, Tanyeto, Munduba Tara, Tanyeto Munduba Tara, Tanyeto Munduba Tara, Mabo, Demban Geyan, Jingayan, Mami, Jingayan, Mamina, Si, Mame, Demba, Yoban Zemba, Tubayan, Jawa Manjuro, Tena, Saman Zimbi, Tuba Tanji, Duban Jute, Denzinji, Tubayina, Mabon, Mame, Demba, Zemba, Tuba Tanji, Kanron Yinbi, Chaji Luna, Chaja, Duba, Gorin to Sombi Sir, Datar, Mabayan, Yume, Kanlayan, Daba Duba, Dutan, Meba, Neba, Tin, Tromba, Neba Jawatan, Tatanji, Tula, Jubi, Juba, Near Mersu Sheba, Nabama Duba, Ishe Duba Yinji, Yula Jehan, Mujuba, Ishe Duba Tanji, Ne Duba Manute, Ne Debar Zeba Pon, Manu Bishete, Tadaki, Then Debar, Yoba Tan Yinji, Dame, Duba maybe sure. Tejin to Dame, Da Yoba, Mutu Batanje, Dame Batuba, maybe Da Gombe,
Dazin.
Yachuta Kalejita.
Gombe Dazin. Okay, let's go.
Gombe Yula, Chiama Chuba, Duji, Tan Yinji.
The Gombe Dazin. Like,
Dambar Zemba Pon, Manu Bishete, the Dambar Nobar Tuba, San Yinji, Deme Tuba maybe sure, Tejin to Da Yoba, Mutuba San Yinji, Da Maba Tuba maybe, the Gombe, Danzin, La Chian, Manu Bishel, Tena, Damba Yoba San, Da Ni So, Yoba. Matuba Dame Dameni Tuba, Shebe, Shebra Shagu, the Neji, turn to Zonshi.
Yabudu.
Yeah.
Yabudu. De Leila Boka.
Yeah.
Tuchina. Okay. Accordingly, that's where we left off, right? 342. Accordingly, all three of Kamala Shila's stages of meditation say that when you meditate after you have achieved serenity, you must do much analysis in meditation. And Chandrakirti's commentary on the middle way says things like, yogis refute the self, meaning that when they meditate, they carry out those analyses. This is because yogis do this analysis in order to find either serenity or insight, and because it is not the case that there is no search for understanding of the view prior to achieving serenity, also analyses of the view are set forth in the context of the perfection of wisdom. After the perfection of meditative stabilization, the critical point implied by this order is that you still analyze the two selflessnesses after achieving meditative stabilization. Baba Vaga's Heart of the Middle Way says, after your mind is set in equipoise, this is how wisdom investigates these things, these phenomena, which are conceived of in conventional terms. Baba Vaga's own commentary on this says that analyses of the view are done after achieving concentration, also engaging in the bodhisattva deeds. Shantideva says that you achieve serenity in accordance with what appears in the chapter on meditative stabilization. Then when you cultivate wisdom, you cultivate it via rational analysis. Therefore, the subsequence of the last two perfections and the sequence of the last two perfections and the sequence of the last two trainings are in all cases sequences in which wisdom is cultivated after you have previously achieved concentration. In discussions of how to cultivate that wisdom, every statement about analysis of the real nature and the diversity gives this same sequence of meditation. So do not imagine that it is the other way around. Beyond just these sources, there are many great texts that say this. So there is no doubt that you must analyze during meditation. While this is so, if you perform only analytical meditation when cultivating insight after you have achieved serenity, your earlier serenity will be destroyed, since it was not refreshed. Serenity will be gone. Thus, as explained earlier, insight also will not develop. Therefore, you must sustain the serenity that previously set up a condition of mental stability. Since you must also practice analytical meditation, both are necessary. Furthermore, in the practice of insight, at the conclusion of analytical meditation, you practice stabilizing meditation on that meaning. By doing this, you will achieve a union of serenity and insight focused upon selflessness. The second of Kamalashila's stages of meditation says, the Cloud of Jewels The Cloud of Jewels Sutra says, thus, those who are skilled in eliminating faults take up the practice of meditation on emptiness in order to be free from all elaborations. Through much meditation on emptiness, their minds spread everywhere. When they search for the nature of the places where their mind is happy, they realize that it is empty. When they search for what the mind is, they realize that it is empty. When they search everywhere for the nature of the mind that knows that emptiness, they realize that it is empty. By realizing this, they enter signless contemplation. This shows that only those who have previously carried out a full examination will enter into signlessness. It very clearly shows that it is impossible simply to eliminate mental activity altogether, and that it is impossible for wisdom to enter the non-conceptual state without having analyzed the nature of things. This passage states that when you investigate the places where your mind spreads and the mind which spreads there, you realize that they are empty. That when you search for or analyze the knowledge that they are empty, you realize that it is empty, and that those analyses are done during meditation on emptiness. It also says that the person who analyzes and realizes that they are empty will enter the yoga of signlessness. Therefore, it clearly shows the impossibility of what Hashan claimed, that by merely withdrawing your mind and eliminating bringing anything to mind, you can enter into a signless or non-conceptual state without first using rational analysis to search analytically. Therefore, as I have explained before, the sword of reasoning cuts through phenomena, revealing that they lack even a shred of the two selves, and brings forth certainty about selflessness. So if a thing possessed of the two selves does not exist, then how could the non-existence, which is its negation, be established in reality? The conception that the non-existence, that is, the absence of the son of a barren woman, really exists, must be based on the observation of a barren woman and her son. If those two were never observed, then no one thinks to construct the expression. The non-existence of the son of a barren woman truly exists. In the same way, when you see no truly existent thing anywhere at all, you also do not give rise to the conception that the non-existence of that truly existent thing is something truly existent. Therefore, you stop all thoughts conceiving of signs, because if a thought conceives of true existence, it must be a thought that conceives of true existence of either an existent or a non-existent. So if the earlier category is negated, then the subcategory is negated. This is what Kamalashila's stages of meditation says. Thus, to achieve the non-conceptual sublime wisdom, you alternate, developing certainty, profound certainty, and there is not even a particle of true existence in anything or non-thing whatsoever, and stabilizing your mind on the conclusion thereby reached. You cannot achieve such wisdom by simply constricting mental activity objectivity without any analysis of an object, because this approach does not make it possible to eliminate the conception of true existence. This is because it is merely not thinking of true existence. It is not knowledge of the absence of true existence. In the same way, it is merely not thinking of a self, but is not knowledge of the lack of self. So cultivating it does not stop the conception of self. Therefore, you must distinguish between 1, not thinking about true existence or the existence of the two selves, and 2, knowing the lack of true existence or the non-existence of the two selves. Remember this critical point. Hold on one second. 88. Nipa. Okay, Dixon. Nipa.
Yeba tuba moana kete dame be dana su jeba tuba maimbe tele nambara matuba eshe chewa gete dreba dan juni jesu timba gube shira nyana dala ne konden deje padan chebe sonde sonje lo le son de bana shinyi longki dreba le manjonde shone shinyi tseba yindo son yang dawa susu tube juna susu toba yuna pabi yeshi shiro wangpo jede jebe yang dabi susu tube shiro teni seba shedo she susu toba le pabi shiro jewa sonpa sonla gori baba le jang de dadara shiro ji nabara jede kanyi tse nanju be ngaba kanki ngoni tuan tangba ngaba mzimba ti tse nabara mutu pe tingen zin 요거 최단지 원이 매비 원이 매장 또서 다시 싫어 지 뭐비 원이 수수다네 뭐지 일하셔 봐 요소 뽕 짱바지 고마셔 봐티 나버 또봐 나야 뭐도지 원이 매봐 니 나야 두바 먼저 돼 싫어 지나와 내비 싫어 너다 양 다버 수수도바 니지 수수도바 니래 양 다바 저다와진도 셰비 먼저 무슨나 조신 조비 메지도 도비 신 세고 shejonen 가제도 sheso 그다음에나 라자 사제레 사메 란종아 종아야 메시소 지 밥이 토바 매반줘데 윤대니 문다이 싫어 대신도 사번 자울래 냐고 자와도 말래 도와줘와도 배신래 머제발 자와 수 나바 문다이 준대 타이버신 홍어 봐봐 나바 모두비 예시네 다니 준진비 유니 동비 다음에 동어송도 또바인라 저와라 자자네 다든진 비유라 수수제네 때매봐 또비고네 봉급에 전에 또바이야 또바다 예세다 신도 제주 준비 주인데 지난지 잡을래 그래서 출라 다음에 수수도 제수 하탐바 따로 되나고니 tantric 오늘 담아내자 내가 또비 원이도 세장 주 힘에 so the hila shebe ngoni be shir naba matubi ishe jungwa joyu ishe de tala tembi shir she song so kete shira ji paru do shimbale zola soba na tomba toba mate du nyana dawa tene dawa na toni la deba zongwa la sheje tomba wo nya do zongwa zang ma yi ba ne ma do she sin do da ma yi na do da le shang ju sen bi senpa chenpo, shangchu senpa chenpo, sheraji parudu shimba, shuejin, sheraji parudu shimba, gomba, dada nyawa, dajin, dada memba samba jede, sheraji parudu shimba, de kanyin, sheraji parudu shimba, de kanyin, che chu kan, nyawa ta, tata ngayba samba na sheshin gombi se chweba somba dang shera nyebo le sheshin sama la jitara leba tejin to pompo ngaba tata jang rangshin shi tongpa naba yandaba jusu tawo sheba dang duba le jang kanki che du ma she dans kana ke chu shera number shi na du zang me mi te ji den da na shera paru shera ro shera chu na la jeba du zang ya me me ba tong na shi do roa songten danda yu ri suzu da gui ba tuma shi songtang tuma shi songpa tang tita menge la tita mende na chwe tang je la namba manta pa tang songpa tela nipa jishi yu tsama jishi hachang tara tuba tangji kowa chenji yuwa mazuba te mabu danga shuo she goma nyamba la soba tangji ji jang chingwa de gui te gaba ngaya mato songwa te na tada deba mendeba longi tuyan la deba tuba gona na pena taba dhudu chune dunga jeba na dhudu jita zungwa taji dhudu meba nga na chuba dhuba yinji yen taba meba deba zungyu yu deba dhuba meba mēbāra shāju jūsēn tadā kē ngē nē tē yī tuñ lā dēbā gui jē dēbā dēbī sēn tsū lā dēbā tāng jē gōbā mēnyū sō yēn yā dēndē tē chūbā yīmē dō gu lā mā chū nā nyāng gōbī tē mēbī shē lō tē chūbā dō nā 그 동안 이제 매번 마시다 초바지다 시제 르로 초바 마주 초마주 동안 다제 유예매 코나라 투비셔 젠진 제 제바 동안 유 öde 매바 장자장지 로베 저주비 롱다지비 또 저마면봐 나라 저바이노 자신의 제메 된라 퍼버데 되네 내가 봐도 저번에 거의 잘되네. 저번 이미 수수도 비시라 제가 뭐도 소아모도 봐. 모두 봐 거기 모두 봐 산지 초보 많이 넣어. 우리 타마래장 지자유나 담비추 제발 매바당 이라 시바 매바 용 대양 다음에 수수도비 모든 로아 다와 샤제 강하게 싫어 양다바 수수도비 싫어지 된바 매바 당 이라 시바 매바 시는지 이제도 많이 넣어 시장 사통네 양다바 수수도비 원이 뭐 파바고 건조진당 오바가바데발레 소레장 가세로 그래서 파바 건조진레 진레 가세바 사통게 다네 원이 또봐 저마매바 요고 세인종고 파바 나가시바 레장 루드 쳔부 강게 루 따상 라다시 천이 모두데 제나 추상지 원이 매바 셰샤오 셰가세로 그때 야다바 또바라 메사나 자타 중된지 도저저당 자자레 수수또바 또마 가가자 자자당게 개완조로 제위나 단 싫어 중어대 모두 되봐 소만이 소시 셰샤와 어느 리지 중된지 모두 되봐 하비스 뒤탕지도 뭐 매소 신중하다 셔바샤오 제진도 조는 나제지 강야 맨봐 소바 나장 자다 나바샤유도 자바존도 모롱아 이제 자다 마이나 파르디 시바 조라소바라야 자다 셰수 손베 자다라야 맨내봐 샤고반조로 덴바존네 네 모롱아야 하시바 따 덴바 또바라 잘레베 전다이 맨내봐나 모두봐 송바 탄지 위드라진지 줘봐 덴바 고베 야다비 수수도베 저 모든 로알 코나라 송베 세바지지 되나 손로레 산지 맞아봐나 로레 데바 소바 송바 저나 사미 저는 통화다 내가 산지 또봐 가비 셔 저나 봐봐 소소도비 싫어지 리바샤와 힘에 젠지 산지 맞아봐 좀마다 나 산지 맞아봐 좀마다 양 사미 달라 나버선의 최진 많이 봐 가비 셔 송지 소소도비 싫어지 최진도 줘봐 셰비 셰데 고네 타말레 자자야다 자자야 강타야 강도 산지 맞아봐 라스베 치트나 저당 저 쳐봐다 samba zang ne te kona tuba kanda samba da ngaba ngabi ngaje gabi shir chudanji susu tuba chudanji susu rangi riba shawa nidu chuba shayi yadaba susu tuba gaba ne mahino teta mahina riba dan lon dan gewan joro
Yabudu.
Ja.
Dene chua dan lanja.
Ja.
Gangesena mamoyur. Yabudu. Hey, Lamrim tama yabudu. Dudushe dandra. Okay. Any objections to that? I just want to make sure exactly where we are. Yabudu. Okay, so all right.
Lomo gewa yu tu
Rinpoche, the chutsu judan. The detsmoa logo, gangesena again, mambo logo, injike. The jutsu miyomare Rinpoche, the shugu mambo yure. The mambo yure. Ngay tsampa. The chishina chutsu chidan cheka, the mambo logo. Gangesena the longdang. The shugu mambo yure. Okay. Where did I leave off? I'm sorry. Just 344B. Okay. Overcoming objections to that. Objection. Since analytical discrimination of the meaning of selflessness is conceptual, it is contradictory that it should produce the non-conceptual sublime wisdom. This is because there must be harmony between an effect and its cause. Reply. The Bhagavan himself spoke about this using example of Kashapa chapter sutra says, Kashapa, it is thus. For example, two trees are dragged against each other by the wind, and from that a fire starts, burning the two trees. In the same way, Kashapa, if you have correct analytical discrimination, the power of a noble being's wisdom will emerge. With its emergence, correct analytical discrimination will itself be burned up. This means that the wisdom of noble beings emerges from analytical discrimination. Kamala Shila's second stages of meditation says, Thus, yogis analyze with wisdom, and when they definitely do not apprehend the essence of anything ultimately, they enter into the non-conceptual concentration. They know that all phenomena lack essence. There are some of those whose meditation does not involve the use of wisdom to investigate the essence of things. They only cultivate the sheer and complete elimination of mental activity. Their conceptions never end, and they never know the absence of essence because they lack the light of wisdom. Thus, when the fire, which is a precise understanding of reality, arises from correct analytical discrimination, then, as is the case of the fire from the friction of two sticks rubbed together, the wood of conceptual thought is burned up. That is what the Bhagavan said. Otherwise, since it would be impossible for an uncontaminated path to arise from a contaminated path, an ordinary being could not attain the state of a noble being because of the dissimilarity between the cause and the effect. In the same way, it is evident that there are limitless cases of dissimilar causes and effects, such as the production of a green seedling from a gray seed, the production of a smoke from fire, the production of a male child from a woman. A noble being's non-conceptual sublime wisdom is perceptual knowledge of the meaning of selflessness, the emptiness of the object of the conception of the two selves. In order to develop the sort of wisdom at a higher stage, your meditation must now precisely analyze the object of the conception of self and realize that it does not exist. Therefore, although it is conceptual, it is a cause which is very conducive to the non-conceptual sublime wisdom. As previously cited, the King of Concentration Sutra says, if you analytically discriminate the lack of self and phenomenon, and if you cultivate that precise analysis and meditation, this will cause you to reach the goal, the attainment of nirvana. There is no place through any other cause. Therefore, Kamalashila's third stages of meditation says, even though it has a conceptual nature, its nature is one of proper mental activity. Therefore, because it engenders the non-conceptual sublime wisdom, those who seek the sublime wisdom should rely upon it. The Perfection of Wisdom Sutras say that if one is involved in the idea that things such as forms are empty and selfless, then one is involved in signs. Therefore, analytical discrimination of emptiness is not tenable. Replies: such statements in the sutras refer to holding emptiness to be truly existent, as I have explained frequently above. They not refer to holding simply, this is empty. Otherwise, these sutras would not speak of analysis when cultivating the perfection of wisdom. A bodhisattva, a great being who practices the perfection of wisdom and cultivates the perfection of wisdom, should carefully investigate and definitely consider the following. What is this perfection of wisdom? Whose is this perfection of wisdom? Is the non-existence and non-observation of any phenomenon that the perfection of wisdom? One carefully investigates and definitely considers this. And in answer to the question of how to practice the profound perfection of wisdom, the Heart Sutra says, correctly regard even those 5 aggregates as empty of intrinsic nature. Also, the verse summary of the perfection of wisdom in 8,000 lines says, when wisdom destroys the conditioned and the unconditioned, the positive and the negative, not even a particle is observed. Then this counts in the world as the perfection of wisdom. This means that you reach the perfection of wisdom when having analyzed phenomena with wisdom. You see without regarding even a particle as ultimately real. How can your assertion that conceptual analysis is a hindrance to insight not contradict these many statements about the need for precise investigation of such reasonings? Objection: I disagree with this approach. There are scriptural statements that one should not investigate phenomena. How do you account for this? Reply: if you, like Hashan, claim that all thoughts whatsoever bind you in cyclic existence, then you must accept that you are bound in cyclic existence by all thoughts such as, I have received this personal instruction on the non-conceptual. I will meditate on this. I refuted this at length earlier. Thus, the meaning of scriptural passages which seem to say that you should not investigate is that you should not conceive of these things as truly existent. Stopping the thought which conceives of the true existence is like this illustration. If suffering arises through mistaking a rope for a snake, you overcome this error when you are certain that the snake does not exist as you imagine. There is no other way. Likewise, you must use a correct reason to be certain that the object that you thought of as truly existent does not truly exist. You must make yourself intimately familiar with this conclusion. You cannot stop the thought which conceives of true existence by simply withdrawing the mind that conceives of true existence. Furthermore, you must agree that the conception of true existence is mistaken. If it were not mistaken, there would be no point in stopping it. If you agree that this awareness is mistaken, then how are you to recognize that it is mistaken unless you recognize that the object held by it does not exist? For one cannot determine whether an awareness is mistaken only by whether an object exists as it is apprehended by that awareness. A mere proclamation will not prove that the object does not exist as it is conceived by the existence by conception of true existence. So if you rely on defect-free combinations of scripture and reason to prove it, after you have done that, you arrive at a conclusion about the absence of true existence. You then stabilize your mind without conceiving of true existence. This is our position. Therefore, this meditation must be the kind of non-conceptual state that is preceded by the analysis of discriminating wisdom. Simply being a non-conceptual state is not enough. You should understand this in accordance with what is said in Kamala Shila's 3rd stages of meditation. Thus see that in the scriptures of the excellent teaching, correct analytical discrimination precedes the absence of mindfulness and the absence of mental activity, because it is only correct analytical discrimination that can create the absence of mindfulness and the absence of mental activity. There is no other way. And scriptures such as the Clouds of Jewels Sutra and the Sutra Unraveling the Intended Meaning state that insight has the nature of correct analytical discrimination. The Cloud of Jewels Sutra says, after you have investigated with insight, you know the absence of essence. This is entry into signlessness. The Descent into Lanka Sutra says, Mahamati, because specific and general characteristics are not known when mentally investigated, it is said that all phenomena lack essence. Failing to perform correct analytical discrimination would contradict the many pronouncements about correct analytical discrimination which the Bhagavan made in these sutras. Thus, it is acceptable to say, I have little wisdom, little effort, and I am not capable of pursuing extensive study. But since the Bhagavan praised extensive study, it is not right to abandon it forever. Similarly, the statements that mind should not remain on anything from form to omniscience means that it is not appropriate to hold that those phenomena truly exist as places for the mind to remain. Otherwise, since even things like the six perfections are spoken of in that way, it would mean that the mind must not remain there even on them. As explained earlier, it is not appropriate to remain within the conception of things as truly existent. There are statements in sutras that by relying on the knowledge that phenomena do not truly exist, you will not remain with and not conceive of such phenomena. Know that all statements refer only to the preceding correct analytical discrimination which refutes the objects intrinsically or truly exist, or truly exist. Therefore, scriptural references to things such as the inconceivable or to what is beyond awareness are made to prevent the conceit that the profound can be known by mere study or reflection. Those are objects of a noble being's individual self-knowledge. Therefore, those statements mean that it is conceivable, etc., to the minds of others who are not noble beings, and their purpose is to stop the incorrect idea that profound truly exists. Recognize that they do not refute proper analysis by discriminating wisdom. Kamala Shila's third stages of meditation says, so, wherever you hear words such as inconceivable, they are for the purpose of stopping the inflated sense of pride of those who think that the reality is known only by mere study and reflection. Such expressions indicate that phenomena are to be understood with the individual self-knowledge of a noble being. Understand this as a correct refutation of the incorrect idea. These statements are not refuting correct analytical discrimination. Otherwise, it would contradict a great many reasonings and scriptures. I think that's where we left off. One sec. Let's go. In scriptures. Long mambo, we're not. Okay, that's it. Okay, question and answer. Tridan Lenja. The Rinpoche, the mambo yure. The chutsu judan karma jipju lesson. Rinpoche, ngay sampa dawa chi mo yure. Gangisena. The nga yure. That's dudushe yure. Nga yure. The ngatsu lema son. Ngatsu shugu mambo yure. Ngatsu the inji ke. The ngatsu shugu mambo yure. Ngatsu the Dene leu nishu sadru de shine dan laton. Dene shugu mambo shine dan laton. Dene de nga dodushe shugu. Dene tsar. Dene hoa. Dene hoa. Chik shena de dunda chi. Jama ngatsu hua legare.
Okay.
Yene tearing yo mare. Ngatsu chutsu chi the hua lena leguna. I was saying I think we'll stop here. Rinpoche was thinking we could finish it. But I don't think that's possible. So question and answer? Okay, Trua mambo yure. Shugu ju yure nge sampa. One. The Jedanga Vitsar Rinpoche Degu Then de hoa de nga dets dodushe Then de hoa Then it tsar Chishina dunchi jema.
Yeah.
Okay, questions?
Chichichi Rinpoche. So my question is about understanding what I conceive of as being unity, and basically, and how objects relate to each other in space. And so there's many different teachings that kind of point to this understanding of unity of things and of objects and of people. One is an example of one of the great teachers. I don't remember his name, but the story goes that there was a dog outside, and he was beaten by a child with a stick. And then when he was beaten, the teacher was like gasped because he felt the hurt of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this. So in that context, in that teaching, there was this sense of, okay, there's a unity that's going on between that dog and the teacher who was realized, because he felt for that dog so much that there was a sense of connection that was happening.
He did not feel that dog's pain, though. I have to make that clear in that context. His compassion was aghast, and he felt that, man, this being suffering, but he did not feel the dog's suffering.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that's clear before I ask the question.
Okay, and then the other thing that I want to mention is that there's the teachings on non-duality.
Let me just make sure. Rinpoche, kontriwa jason, de dola de loju yure, de ki leson, de ki de me ducha shin rason, then ki shujason. Then shanchu semba tonson, then shanchu semba de ninji chempo de chason, then kon segdu de nga ki dugnyaut sorwa nga sorwa. De ngatsu me jenda sorwa dan tugumare marebe. Shanchu semba de dungyao tona shanchu semba tsokerdue. De gutsuson. De shanchu semba de me jenda lapa chakson. Shanchu semba dungyao yurube. Lapa dungyao yurube. Ganyu sena kon lapa cha tonson. Then kon ninji yure yomare. The ninji yene kon the me jenda dungyao yongudue. No, so it's not possible for the bodhisattva or the being to feel the pain of another being, would understand the pain of another being and then feel great compassion, but not feel the pain. The connection would be that being in the story, I would assume, is a bodhisattva, and a bodhisattva winces at even the word, that's hearing that someone may have a little suffering. They wince because they want, their whole goal is for people to be free from suffering, the causes of suffering, to have happiness, and for them to become Buddhas.
Okay, so
that's the wince. It's like, oh gosh.
In the context of that phenomenon, and also in the context of understanding non-duality, meaning that when you achieve an understanding of emptiness, there is no separation, and also in the sense that all objects are not absolutely separate from each other.
They are separate. They are absolutely separate from each other. The meaning of it is that they aren't. There isn't. The non-duality is the emptiness. Is the apprehender and the apprehended are both empty of intrinsic existence. There isn't any true existence in the duality of apprehending and apprehended and apprehender. Mm-hmm. So there is separation of objects conventionally, and that's how you get at what the object of negation is by establishing an object, which is a separate object from this object, is a separate object from this. This object's emptiness, the emptiness itself is the same, but the emptiness of this isn't the emptiness of this, because they're different objects. So car's emptiness, the emptiness is the same, but car's emptiness is exclusive to car, because it takes, for there to be car's emptiness, it takes there to be a conventionally existent car in order for there to be an ultimate car. And what is ultimate car? A not truly existent car. But in order for there to be that aspect of emptiness of car, there has to be a conventional car that's established that we say really is a car, that a Buddha would say that's a car. Buddha wouldn't say that's not a car. The Buddha would never say something wrong. So we agree by valid cognition that that's a car. So emptiness of car is exclusive to car. Emptiness of car isn't emptiness of book.
Okay.
They share the same properties of what emptiness means, but there's specificity with each object, because there isn't when they say there's not this, it's always talking about subject and object, and this when it speaks of non-duality, but it's really speaking of really the lack of inherent existence of both.
Okay.
When it's speaking of, when it uses that word is really confusing when they use that word in explaining the relationship between subject and object. And it does kind of feel like there isn't any difference. The Rinpoche, the tomba ni, becha kashe, the luta, yine becha kashe kelen, nga dan de teb, kakare yomare. He just said they're different. He said there are some books that explain non-duality as that there is no difference between myself and book, the apprehender and the apprehender. There's no real difference there. And Rinpoche said there's a difference. What do you mean? So it's just the English word they're using that makes it kind of mixed up. It's saying that apprehension doesn't make it truly existent.
Okay, so then
the nga the teb tona nga demba madrupa teb demba madrupa ngatsu nicha demba madrupa yine teb demba madrupa da nga temba demba madrupa kakare rube motai tomba ni teb tomba ni kakare tomba ni chipa yine moti tomba ni Teb Tomani Kaka. So yeah, that just what I just clarified with him what I said before about the emptiness of car and the emptiness of book are different than because of the object conventionally that is being explained to have an ultimate existence. So what was the last question? I have the answer to it.
Well, I guess then my final...
No, what was what you just asked, though, that I was following up on?
About
I just lost my train of thought a little bit.
It was
I just need a refresher.
Okay, it was about non-duality, I think.
Right. But what was the... hold on. So the apprehender... Hold on, I just asked Rinpoche. Just give me one moment.
Well, my question ultimately was about understanding if there is such a thing at all of a sense of unity, if there is a unity at all.
What does that mean?
In the context of it being the case that, at the same time that things may be distinct, that they're distinct in space and time, that also there's a sense of the possibility of some kind of relationship between them, like that there's basically that things are not absolutely separate, that there has to be some kind of connection in order for there to be a relationship between anything at all. Is that there has to be some kind of connection, there has some kind of mutuality. In order for anything to relate with anything, they must have something in common.
Well, they would have bases which we karmically can connect to. So everything that we apprehend is a result of our karma, first of all, being able to apprehend it as something which is this or that. Mm-hmm. But the objects themselves don't have a relation other than the parts in this book have a relationship with each other because they've come together to make a book. But this book has a relation with this book maybe because they have similar content, but the processes may not even be the same forest where the paper came from or the same continent where the paper came from. So the fact that they're sitting here together is my karma that said, I need a book on Great Treatise and I need this book. And then there was all this dependent origination that took place in order for me to purchase them. Mm-hmm. But the relation is really with my karma and the, like it says, from generosity comes enjoyment. So good things I have are from being generous before, and dharma that I have is from connecting to dharma before, and people who believe what I'm saying is from not lying before. So all of those things that are manifesting are part of what I've made them manifest into by my karma. So that's connected. But in terms of some other metaphysical connection beyond that, the Buddha said there's not. The Buddha said that it's all in dependent origination. Everything is interdependent, but isn't
causally.
But Buddha doesn't mean everything's interdependent, meaning like
everything interexists.
Buddha's just saying everything's dependently originates. That's all Buddha means by that. He doesn't mean that everything in the world depends on everything in the world, and it's all... When Buddha says everything's interdependent, the Buddha is stating that every phenomena... This is a book. This is one. Everything that's a phenomena, example, book, dependently originates. So this interdependence means that this book depends on many different things to come into being. But this book doesn't depend on everything to come into being. It just doesn't. You can exclude certain things for this book to still come into being. You can definitely exclude certain things in the universe and still have this book come into being. So one can argue that there are a lot more deeper connections than just the maker of the book and more subtle connections, but everything possesses a separate identity and is designated based on what those collections come together and make. So, yeah. So anything else I can...
No, I'll
okay, cool.
stop there.
Rinpoche, the chala tamche kakare, yene chala tamche tomba ni, yene susur tomba ni kakare, gangin sena chala kakare, chala kanga dundan demba dang gunzun demba ni yure, gunzun demba mena, dundan demba me. The data yen. He's like, oh my God, you learned something. He wasn't sure, I think, up till this point, if I had.
Nice. A lot of reading this week deals with the distinction between insight meditation and serenity meditation.
Yes.
And I've encountered that distinction a lot in Hinayana texts. They always, breath,
Very
chanting
much.
meditation or serenity.
Yes.
Vipassana is insight. But I've never encountered it in the Tibetan book before, and I didn't know that distinction was part of Tibetan Buddhism. So I'm curious now about the styles of meditation that are unique to Tibetan Buddhism and how they're understood within that distinction. So like would deity meditation be considered serenity, or would it be considered insight? And
So there's Jagon dan Jugom that's loud now. Jagon Jugom. Gangisina ngama kon teme logjung sheson, then teme Jagon Jugom mambo yure, the gom mambo yure. The teme, the dharam salala, kon sam, the sansan dawa chi, the gecha mashe, then a konso gonja, then the je, the tingenzi gom jagadu. Then a kon ama the lojung shesong, yene kon sampa chishena the pupichu, the yomare, then a kon de tonson, tearing, jagon jugon, then detsilaro na.
원주 원선나 뜨나 수수나 저 공부 있나 수수산 다와 제보마 제보산 다와도 요공서 말아.
Less so.
근데 나한테 데모만 줘. 땡데 임지 산모부터 조세 모산 다와도 제공을 하고.
Less so. Then the jugom, the mipagare.
요거 매번 가르는 난주바에 준도 줘봐로스 소소 가르를 공하고 너바 여바 있는 데가 됐어.
Less so. Then the jugom depogare. The jugom depogare. Tingizi shine.
요거 아버지 요바 있나 되는 셀 신내서 내용이죠. 신내 해서 셀 더와요 알았어. 더와 쳐보 요거.
Then jegom jepogare.
제공은 딱 가서 그래. 싫어야 표현하는 것도.
Less so. Then hlaton shine hlaton jegongi depo.
하도
That's
하도 신내는데 버려.
hlaton shinegi depo.
너무 신내 대질 하도니 내가 그거 라면 마도 봐. 너가 좋다 강길로라요. 너 아침에 다 그제 보고. shene jo laton de yin but the donga gru ta kan ji ba des lamre ma tu ba
Less so.
ha lamre gru la shene de laton ji sa tu
Less so. Okay. So we know there's nothing wrong with Rinpoche's wisdom maker brain, because he just like ripped out the scripture from like when he was probably 18 that he had memorized. So we know that's all working, if anybody had any question. So there are two kinds of meditation. There's analytical meditation, and then there's fixed meditation. Analytical meditation is meditation where you're doing any kind of analysis. Obviously, within the word, it's presupposed. But for instance, when you're sitting there and thinking the I is not truly established because it dependently originates. If it dependently originates, it's empty. What is it empty of? It's empty of true establishment. What is true establishment? You know, that type of meditation is analytical meditation. And that type of meditation is required to arrive at a type of understanding, a special insight. That's an analytical meditation. Fixed meditation is where you take any object. So Rinpoche quoted a scripture and said the yogi takes any object he or she wishes and focuses on it and focuses solely on that without any other distraction. So you would take any object of observation in fixed meditation, and generally you would pick one and wouldn't waver from the one you've picked until you achieve single-pointed concentration and calm abiding. So generally, if one really wants to do it, you pick one object, and in Buddhism, you can get single-pointed concentration, and fixed meditation isn't exclusive to Buddhism, so it's sometimes just explained generically, and said you can use any object of meditation you wish. But if it's explained exclusively within Buddhist context, you'll see Atisha say, focus on a virtuous object. And then if you look at what is a virtuous object, most of the scriptures say, if you use Buddha Shakyamuni, for instance, that's the teacher of this time. So you're not only gaining merit by harnessing your mind, but you're also harnessing it on a virtuous object. So one could say that about all the Tara, Chenrezig, any of the deities you feel most connected to. But Buddhism always says, hey, if you're going to pick a topic, you know, and if going for refuge is the first thing you do, it makes sense to pick a topic to relate to in that way. So then Rinpoche quoted another text and said that usually when we look at calm abiding and special insight, it happens that one first gets calm abiding, and then from that calm abiding there arises the special insight. So you see that in both the sutras and tantras in union, where they agree that you harness your mind and then you can use that analysis, that topic of wisdom you've analyzed to combine with that harnessing of the mind and fix it on wisdom somehow. I don't know, but that's what it says you can do. And once you do that, you have what's called special insight. So you have to study to have the intellectual thing that you're going to grasp onto, but you have to get the single-pointed concentration to fix it so that you have the tools to fix on the wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so one more question? We're at 11. And if we have no more questions, we have no more questions. Anyone else?
I'll ask one more if no one has one.
Yeah.
The question is...
Bless you.
So, do you think it might be helpful at some point, maybe for some people, to think about the fact that what they experience is occurring within their awareness, and that therefore it is occurring within their minds? It's not to say that the object that they see is in their mind, but it's to say that the experience is occurring in their mind, and that therefore to apply correct view is to apply correct view according to what you experience in your mind. So it's an application of first a correct sign, a concept about the object, which is actually experienced by your mind. And that therefore, what you're doing is you're not trying to change the object that's outside of you. What you're trying to do is you're trying to change your perspective or your approach to understanding the object that occurs in your experience.
Yeah, what's the question? That's what Buddhism teaches.
But basically, is it helpful to recognize or the fact that objects exist not necessarily...
That's what I'm waiting to see if you're going to go into the mind-only school or not.
Well, I know.
That's where you're headed. You're headed to wrong view.
But I'm not.
So
saying,
I'm giving you rope, but
okay,
you're headed to the wrong view.
It is the case. It is the case.
You can keep going.
It is the case that things exist in your experience, and since they exist in your experience, they exist in relationship to your mind, and it's the relationship that our mind has to those objects that's the problem. And so maybe it's helpful to notice the fact that they exist in our mind, because then we don't think of them as outside objects that we have to...
No, they absolutely are outside objects that everyone in this room that has correct, valid cognition with functioning eyes and mind can say, this is a book. Mm-hmm. We all see this same book.
Yeah.
And this book is external. And the problem with our mind is maybe my mind is saying, I hate this book because it's all broken and tarnished. And your mind saying, this book is so beautiful. My book is broken and tarnished compared to that book. There is no broken and tarnished here. So the object of observation, that the way we are apprehending the object of observation that we are all seeing is what needs to be fixed. So from our mind, our apprehension of what is out there and that we all see is what needs to be fixed. The apprehension of it as being truly established. And once you negate that idea of it, you start apprehending it completely differently anyway, because you realize that there is no good, there is no bad, there is no better, there is no worse, there is no taller, there is no shorter. You know, that person's, there is shorter, but I'm saying there is no tall, there is no short, there is no bad, there is no good. You know what I mean? Because there's always taller, there's always shorter. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's all, external objects are there. They aren't in our mind. But the way we apprehend those things with our mind is wrong. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's a combo of what you're saying and okay. Absolutely. Okay. The Rinpoche, the kon triwa, the nga the dets kasong gang sen kon the sem sampi dawa kelen song yeni kon sampa the pen chikshena pen togudu ngatsu sanlo the chala kanga ngatsu semzu son dene gari ngatsu sem junior re den sunsang ngatsu sem the samazuna ngatsu sem the jun kana then ngatsu kanga tuna yapudu this sem sampi dawa gangin sena de chala yure ngatsu sem zuma son the chala demba drupa sem zuson yene chala sem zuma son yene the Duson, Gari Zuson, then Sanjay Kelan Sam Zuson. Less so. You know the Nyawa Yida Dendru Me Lama Yin Suzuson, Sanjay Kelan Sam Zuson. Le. Okay, so Rinpoche said that all phenomena are merely established by the mind, but designated by the mind, but not created by the mind. So that's what Rinpoche just said. Okay, concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. Great question. I mean, if we could stumble into the mind-only school, we would be heroes. I mean, if we could even understand the Vibhashika school a little bit, I would be miles down the road. So it's amazing that we're even swimming in waters like that. All right, do I have glasses on somewhere? Okay, concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Jats may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Suji Rinpoche, Gutsi Shabi Denrana.